All right, everyone, let's get set up with Cubase. So the very first thing we need to do when we open up Cubase, if it's not working, we're going to go to Studio Setup. And no matter what's selected here, we want to go down to VST Audio System. And this is our driver that's going to send audio in and out to Cubase. So this is number one for getting, if you get a new interface, whether it's USB, whether it's ADAT, Firewire, doesn't matter. We need to point this in the right direction. So for me, I have this, I have a rack, and these two units here, I have multiple units that go to the computer, but it all connects through this ADAT card. So I need to point Cubase to that ADAT card. And that is the ASIO Hammerfall DSP driver. So whenever we have a new piece of hardware, like an interface, again, whether it's USB or whatever, the driver needs installed on your computer so that it can talk to that hardware device, that new interface. So most drivers install automatically. Make sure it's installed first, and then it should show up in here automatically. Don't add it in here, it just show up. So if I want to listen just over my regular computer speakers, I could select this generic low latency. Everyone's is going to look different here, but this is the idea. So make sure you're on the right thing, and we're just going to keep it on there. And then once that's done, you might want to double check that the inputs and outputs that you're looking for are visible and active. Okay, or at least visible. I think you can click that. So, and then these are all our ins in yellow and all our out in blue. It should automatically show up. I got a 32 channel card, even though I don't have 32 channels connected to it. 32 channel card. So the driver for that card is telling Cubase, hey, I'm here and I'm ready. So once we have that, okay, then you're going to hit F4, and F4 is going to be your friend. So we have inputs and outputs here, and this is where you really go in and can tell it where to go. So, and probably the idea behind this is you can name it, like you can name this, API preamp or whatever. But I just leave them, and I know 1 through 24. I got 24 channels, so I just go 1 to 1. So, and they're called whatever, but mono in 1, mono in 2, mono in 3. I just go all the way down. And similar for the outputs. Okay, stereo out's my main out. That's how I'm monitoring. That goes to my stereo monitors. So that goes through 1 and 2 to get to them. And you can have headphones out and different outs there as well. Okay, those are your main things for inputs and outputs to get sound working bidirectionally there. Then once you're in Cubase, you select a track, and your inputs and outputs are right here. Okay, so we have an upright bass. Then we got to set the input is up on top, or in the middle here, I guess. The output is on the bottom. Okay, and upright is just a group track I made. So we go down here instead. Let's, most of these things go to a group track. Okay, so we would have to assign an input. Let's say mono in 1. Okay, that's just channel 1. And then we have to assign the output. Stereo out is our main monitor out. So when I hit play, it's going to play through my system. Okay, so that's the main thing for getting sound working in Cubase. And most versions of Cubase are going to be pretty similar here. The other good shortcut to know is F3. So F4 is your inputs and outputs, okay? And you can do some other stuff in there as well, like the control room. There's a bunch of stuff you can do, external effects. If you're running stuff through outboard gear, you probably know how to use that. Now F3 brings up your mixer. So that's great, in and out. And this has all your inputs here. If you want them, you can hide them. But here, depending on what version of Cubase you have, you can go to your routing here, and you got your inputs and outputs. So you can change them right there as well. And here's a good one for you. So you can select all 3 acoustic guitar mics, hold down Shift and Alt. Hold down Shift and Alt at the same time, and then click stuff, and it'll happen to all your selected tracks, okay? You just keep holding down Shift and Alt together. And then you can do solos. You can even do this. You can even adjust the volume there, okay? So you can, if we let go of that and just go to our sends, then Shift and Alt, and you can, you know, add stuff to all 3 at the same time, or however many you select, okay? We can disable those all at once. So that's a big one. And then, of course, keyboard shortcuts are everything. So hit S for solo, okay? Hold down Control to select multiple tracks. Hit S for solo. Okay, or we can select a track and select a range of tracks with Shift. So hold down Shift, select this. We got all of that. We hit S for solo, M for mute. Okay, and it's that easy. And then we can do the Control Shift, and we can turn them all up and down or whatever. Shift Alt, sorry. That's just what I wanted to put out there for just getting started, because I think Cubase is a great platform, and I know how frustrating it can be to start a new DAW, so there you go. That should get you up and running.